Hi everyone. Millions of small investors dragged on by social media use a conventional Wall Street strategy to put the squeeze on Wall Street. GameStop shares have surged 1,700%. This is the story of GME. Make sure to stick around until the end of the video to make sure you get the entire picture and all the Wall Street bet secrets. They are among the millions of novice traders collectively taking on some of the most advanced investors on Wall Street and succeeding, at least for the moment. These shareholders have piled in trades around many firms, driving their stock prices to stratospheric heights, driven by a combination of desperation and boredom, joyfully eager to teach a lesson to Wall Street, and supercharged by an endless flow of get-rich-quick excitement and ideas delivered via social media. The campaign felt like a vindication for himself and fellow young traders. Ben Patty, 16, a high school student in Wisconsin who said he made $750 off GameStop stock, said, "This is a decent chance to make money and stick it to the hedge funds. It's kind of like beating them in their own game by buying GameStop. Nobody knows how this will end. Some analysts claim the extreme activity could potentially trigger a broader market sell-off by pushing hedge funds to sell parts of their portfolios on the losing side of these trades to raise cash to cover their losses." After an investment firm owned by Ryan Cohen, creator of Chewy, the online pet supply store, whose stock was popular with retail investors, acquired a stake in the company and joined its board, GameStop shares began to increase last summer. Some hedge funds were betting at about the same time that GameStop stock would plunge. The business had been reeling from moves from customers to online shopping and streaming, but it was further bruised by the pandemic. Short selling works this way. An investor who expects a decline in the stock price uses the company's shares from some other shareholder for a fee and trades them instantly, believing that they can buy back the shares cheaper when the price falls, return them to the owner, and keep the difference. Risks. Here is just one part of the entire scheme. The first is risk, and the second will be revealed at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around until then. It is a risky trade. The short seller is vulnerable to losses that are potentially infinite if the stock increases. Share prices will continue to grow after all, although they can only fall to zero. For that purpose, short sellers scramble to buy back the shares they lent when a bet goes wrong so that they can retrieve them and exit their trades, a mechanism known as covering. With GameStop, that's what happens. When institutional investors started to purchase their shares and options, many of them egged on by Wall Street Bets and other platforms, their stock began to grow, forcing short-selling hedge funds to purchase back the loan shares at a higher price, driving the stock price higher. This is a short squeeze in Wall Street parlance, a tactic often used by savvy investors against each other. GameStop shares have careened wildly over the last 3 trading sessions. As the shares grew nearly 135% on Wednesday, $24 billion worth of the company's shares changed hands, Wall Street's most actively traded stock. Amongst those behind the frenzy is Pablo Batista. He has been selling inventories from his family home in the Bronx since the pandemic shut down the restaurant in Midtown Manhattan where he served as a line cook. At first, during the shutdown, Mr. Batista, 25, exchanged to pass time, but has become more extreme as his $4,000 stock investment has swelled to over $67,000. On the chat site Discord, he spends most days trading stocks along with former high school mates. "I'm kind of overwhelmed at this point," he said of the $11,440 he made on Monday trading shares in GameStop. "This is crazy. This is nuts. There are more insane stories to come, so make sure to stick around." Wall Street Bets. Except that it's more viral and powered by futures trading, the new mania is reminiscent of the 1990s. Millions of Americans, many of whom are out of work or working from home, have opened brokerage accounts and started trading aggressively after the pandemic struck, helping to spark a market rally. Retail traders are not only buying and selling stocks, they are also buying options, a sort of financial instrument that offers the right to buy or sell a stock to the holder. Since they are more lucrative, brokerage companies have sold options extensively to institutional investors. And then there's Wall Street Bets, the wildly successful Reddit platform based on trading options that has become a kind of public hive mind where institutional investors are loosely organizing their collective buying power on objectives that are most likely to exacerbate price pops. Posts started appearing on the forum in recent weeks, highlighting the large number of GameStop shares kept short and specifically recommending others to purchase shares and options to move the price higher. These outright calls for investors to align their actions on social media struck many analysts as skirting the line of manipulation of the market. After revealing in filings that it had held puts on GameStop, Melvin Capital, a well-respected hedge fund operated by Gabe Plotkin, a former senior trader for the hedge fund giant Stephen A. Cohen, drew the wrath of Wall Street Bets. The Wall Street Journal estimated it was down 30% during the first few weeks of January only, and Melvin also said Monday that two larger funds, Citadel and Mr. Cohen's .72, had jumped in to pump a collective $2.75 billion into the company. Puts are options that create a profit if stock prices fall. The fund's bets ended badly. A Melvin spokesman said that the fund had closed its place on GameStop. GME has gone from a $4 stock to a whopping $300 stock. Whether you took a piece of the pie on this insane surge or not, many people's lives have changed. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos on crazy stock news.